Yo, hello chat, Dan VR, coming at you with today's daily ramble, talking about the innate talent trees, being Vitality, Erudition, Proficiency, and Song Chant. So when we look at the updates that came with Tap Dancer in particular, there was this general argument, this general consensus, that Tap Dancer was such a necessary talent, it was such a must-have talent, that it was best to just give it to everyone, make that the base, like, dodge mechanic, because everyone was going 60 agility anyways. While I do think that that argument's a little shaky to begin with, because everyone's going EXO, everyone's going to the finish, right? There's other talents like that they haven't touched. I do want to bring that sort of mentality towards these innate talents. With the way that they break down, almost every single build is going to go 6 Vitality. I mean, you just have to. It's 10 extra health. It's 10 additional health onto your max HP. Going 6 Vitality in this tank meta, or this sustain meta, it's required. You just absolutely have to do it. Now, you can kind of switch it up between Erudition and Song Chant. For example, I have 3 Song Chant. That's going to give me 15% Mantra Pen. And it increases the scaling a little bit, so I hit a little harder. That is one of Thundercall's main advantages, the damage that its mantras do. But overall, the build was just as viable when I was running 6 Erudition, if not more viable. Because of the way combat works in Verse 2, having Vent available is absolutely must-have. The more times that you have Vent, the higher your tempo, the better your tempo control, odds are the better you're going to do in the fight. So when you're running 6 Erudition, you really don't have to care about tempo control. You really don't have to pay attention to it at all. I mean, when I was running 6 Erudition, I shit you not, I could vent 4 or 5 times in a row. And the tempo gain, or the rate in which I would increase my Erudition or increase my tempo was so high, it didn't matter. I'd land a few mantras, I'd get hit with 1 combo, and I'd be back at full tempo again. And then I could just vent another 4 or 5 times. So, I get the idea behind venting, but I think it's much more powerful than the devs were intending. It really is a get out of jail free card, and by going 6 Erudition, you essentially have a vent available all the time. Now they did, really recently, I think in this most recent Friday update, they tried to tweak the way Erudition works, like tempo gain in its base form, but it just wasn't enough. Realistically, Song Chant doesn't offer enough to make it a viable choice over Erudition. And Proficiency, I mean, I don't think Proficiency is viable to pick at all. Maybe on a no attunement build, but that is incredibly specific. Again, the sort of point I'm making is that they're trying to tweak the way Erudition works because it's a quote must-have, and they gave Tap Dancer to everyone because it's a must-have. Okay, but 6 Vitality, must-have. EXO, if we're getting into talents, must-have. To the finish, must-have. There's so many must-have talents in the game that have sort of just fallen to the wayside. I would like there to be a little more incentive to going different types of builds. Obviously, Proficiency could be touched up a little bit. Song Chant could be touched up a little bit. I just think it's a little boring that almost every build I make and every build I encounter is just 6 Vitality, 6 Erudition. It's a shame that these aren't as impactful as I had hoped they were.